All right, we're in the Monster Tournament. It's Wednesday's qualifying round. We're already on Wednesday. It has been so busy so far this week. I didn't even realize it was Wednesday until I got up this morning and it was raining. So, no work today. So we can get some qualifying. I thought, well, I'll get some qualifying in. It's Tuesday and then I can see how it goes. But no, today is Wednesday. So let's get out there and get at it. Hole number 1, Monster Tournament. We're playing at Sunshine Glades. Definitely need to get what we want to go for hole-in-one here. And I'm not sure. I'm going to go for the shot that's down here, doing a rough bump with a rock and an extra mile. Now, if you have an upper developed rock, a maxed out rock, this is the way to go because you get that extra distance. If you don't, you'll probably have to take it with an apocalypse or an extra mile. And you'll have to work out the top spin. If I remember correctly, it takes very little. But we'll have to see. And I'm going to do a 10% wind adjustment. I know that there was a wind adjustment down here, but I can't remember if we were adding on 10 or taking off 10. So we're going to just go out and shoot it and see what happens. I'm going to take that bag right there and a Kingmaker. It's not the king of balls, but it's close. And we'll go play hole number 1. We'll just go play it. See what happens. You have to get an eagle on this hole. If I leave this hole with anything less than an eagle, it was an epic fail because way too many people in the bracket are going to pick this up. And we've got to be one of them. So you take your minimum score of minus 12 and you add this hole on, so we're at minus 13. So, like, unless you can shoot a 26, there's no conversation about if you're trying to get a banner or you're trying to win another banner. It's all, you got to be plus 26, and there's tons of holes here that have opportunities. That dog will hunt. Nice shot. Nice shot, man. Nice shot. Let's see what the wind is. We'll do the wind first. 3.2. 3.52 rings. .52 rings. If I can get lined up with the wind. There's 3.5. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can get a hole in one. I like where it hit in the rough. Just a bit outside, over pulled it. And I liked where I landed. So I have to go back and analyze and really kind of watch that video and see where I was when I landed. I want to go for hole in one, but I want to make sure that I get what's important here. If we leave this hole with a hole in one, that is awesome. But if we leave this hole with anything less than an eagle, we epic failed. So the eagle is more important than the hole in one. It is. All right, eagle. Gotta get an eagle on hole number 1. Now you can take that shot. You can see how much room I had down there. It's possible with a rock, because of its accuracy, that you could hit a 1-ring great to the left or the right and still end up in the fairway, in the first cut of the rough. But if you bring an extra mile down there, you have to hit that shot perfect. You have to. Hole number 1 in the bag. Hole number 2. Let's go check out hole number 2. Now we have a serious opportunity for hole in one on hole number 2. I call this the giraffe hole. Can you see the giraffe? Here's its head up here, and here's its long neck and its big legs. And we're going to do a rough bump right in this area. Now, I know it seems to me, I've played this hole a bunch, and one-on-one, using a marlin, but I'm not sure which tour it was in. I think it was from the rookie tees. So when you're in this area, if you've got a marlin, I think you're right at minimum sniper. But if I bring out a little bit bigger ball, I can actually take this shot with, I could may be able to take it with my grizzly. Let's go practice this once. I'll go practice it one time, so we can see which ball combo we need. Any bag will work. I'm gonna start off with a navigator, and we'll see where we're at in club. Now, let me think about long irons real quick. So with topspin, I got 50 topspin there. I think that should be more than enough. Maybe. What has more? I'm going to try it with that. I can always shoot, and I'm going to shoot the club wherever the club is at. So if I'm in mid club, I'm going to shoot the mid numbers. If I'm in minimum, I'm going to shoot minimum numbers. So I think I'm either going to be in minimum sniper or maximum long iron. And if I have to switch to a bigger ball, I may just jump to a Titan, the king of balls. If I can get an opponent. Thank you, Dominator. Selhurst Park. The Selhurst Parkland. Here we go. All right, I got to remember this practice. I was in practice the other day and really tagged a shot really good. I was like, hell yeah, and then was like, oh damn, that was in practice. So they've got a white ball, and they're right in between clubs. So a power one ball isn't going to get me up there. I want to have enough room with the ball that I pick that I can work out wind, so I can set it up in the same spot every time, every round. I don't want to have to do any overpower or anything like that. So if I want to shoot with my long iron, I'm probably going to have to bring out a 3-power ball. And I am going to add on 10%, so I'm pretty sure that's a good place to start. Equals 2.97 rings. Okay, there's my red line. I'm going to up that to a katana. Yeah, I'm going to up it. I want to play with the same ball all week long, so I want to have enough room on my red line that I could work out some wind. It's 3 rings. It's 2.97 is what it works out to. But we're going to do a 3-ring pull. And I'm going to have to snap it. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit short, but right on track. We got a serious opportunity on that hole. This is a hole in one-on-one play that, I mean, I think it's in Tour 5. Tour 6. I think these are in Tour 6. Into hold. Not the hole in one I was looking for, but close. That setup is going to work. Just need to put a little more distance on it. All right, let's check out hole number 3. We got the first of the big par 5s here, and I can't remember what it is, so let's go look at it. Hole number 3. All right, I'm playing this hole. I'm going to try and play this hole. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Okay, that wind's not going to be, that wind's going to tell us whether or not we can do this shot that I want. So when I went back and watched the playthrough, and I want to talk about being out in this area out here, doing the straight up shot coming in. You got a nice clear window. This rough's not in play. You've got plenty of room to maneuver. The deal is that on the green, so if we take the green at this point, there's a ridge that runs like this, and the cup is like right here. So this area is flat, and this area is all running downhill. And it's kind of running a little bit like this downhill. So when you come in from this direction, you're right on that transition. So it's very easy, even if you get the wind and everything right, it's very easy if you get your speed wrong that you can, and if you're playing real golf, you can hit it through the break. So it rides along this ridge, and instead of it dropping down to the cup, it just rolls, stays on that plane and just rolls past the cup. If you're going just a little bit too slow, it's going towards the cup, but then as it slows down farther, the slope picks it up and it drifts the ball off to the left. And so I've made a lot of albies from this direction, but it can be problematic. And even with the rough bump here, the rough bump is down in this area and you're coming up at the hole. And one of the things that's a little bit better about the rough bump is you can bring it up to the cup instead of trying to ride that ridge. But I'm trying to get over into this area right here where I do a rough bump and then bleed out into the rough. And you're still in your wood range. So your arc, you're still in wood. You're going to be in wood anywhere out here. You're in wood right here. But you've got this perfect rough bump, this T rough bump, and you're going straight up to the cup. So here's that ridge, and here's where the cup's at, and you're going straight at it. And you can take that ridge out of play. I really think that if this shot over here, if we can land in that fairway and get out here, that even though we're still in wood, we have a better angle to the cup. And so I'm curious to see how it works out, but I'm not sure in headwind whether or not we can get over there. So if I can't get over there with a Zerk and an Apocalypse, I just can't get over there. If that doesn't work, I'm going to switch to my number 2 bag and a Katana. That's the thing about this hole, is if you play to the right, you can come at it with any ball. You can come out with a Marlin. But if you want to play to the left, it may take, and I have tried to do a max overpower hook, but there's trees that are way off over here to the left that we're not really paying attention to, that you catch, that you'll clip if you do a max overpower hook. And I've tried laying it up out there and just trying to bring it into this area, and it's very difficult to get it out into that area. And you're still going to need a really big ball in order to get to the cup. I'm a bigger fan of hitting off the island and just hitting over there. It doesn't take anything special to do it. This island that my opponent's hitting off of, if it shows the deal, is like right where they're at right there. You can see how it drops off. There's a flat area in the middle and then it drops off, but it's still fairway on the edge. But the fairway's at an angle. I think of that angle as being part of the transitional surface. I want to stay the hell away from that because it'll make your ball take a flat bounce. And it'll make your ball, especially if you're on the right-hand side like that, it'll make your ball go way right. Okay, I can just barely get over there. I'm going to see if I can make it over. This will be a good indication for me. Give myself plenty of room. Hitting it perfect. A little short. That wind affected it. So it was 2 rings is 3 miles per hour. And I was about 2 rings out from the sand. So that wind is definitely pushing on that drive harder. Than 2. Now we're in the deep brown stuff because there's no way I can make it from there. So I'm going to have to lay it up somewhere and then come at it. So I'm going to put the ball where I wanted it, but I'm going to put it forward so I'm in my long iron range. That'll give me a better shot of being able to recover. But I have put myself in a little bit of a spot. A little bit of a spot of bother. I could hit myself up. I actually can probably get over there and recover. That's awesome. .1. There's 1, 2, 3, 1. Isn't it perfect? Ending up on the fringe, right where I wanted. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to take that long putt. I still have some work to get done, but I could recover. That's good to know, because that area out there, I think when you get out in the clear in the fairway, you do have a pretty good shot. And while I said earlier that I've had luck on this hole, I've had a lot of albies on this hole. It's always been a one-on-one. This hole has always been like mixed success in tournament play. All right. Hit it one ring great to the right. In the hole. That means wind was not a factor. Or it might have been. It's close. I recovered. That's what counts. Woo! It'd be sucky to pick up number 1, not get number 2, and then turn around and drop a shot. That's not good at all. Hole number 4. And there are definitely some opportunities to drop some shots here. All right. I want to bring out a big enough ball. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Let's see which way the wind is blowing. Okay, we got tailwind. So I think you can bring out a power 4 ball. And my goal is to get land here. I want one bounce here, and I want my second bounce to be in the rough, and I want to bleed out. And it seems to me like I was doing a wind adjustment on this drive. And I'm going to do a wind adjustment. I'm going to just start off. I'll just start off with a 10% and see where it goes. This is you've got a very narrow little landing spot down there, and the problem with this shot is if you screw up on the right hand side, you could end up in the drink, and that is out of bounds. Bad. So we need a power 4 ball. With a tailwind, I may be able to practice it with a power 3 ball. So I'll start with a power 3, and if I need to switch, I could go to a firework ball because side spin might be helpful here. Let's try a firework ball. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can get an opponent. If I can get an opponent. Dun, 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 dun. Don't make me start singing. Usually just the threat of that will get me an opponent. Hola! Thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for picking me up and playing. Ola goes first. We got a 3 mile. They got a Titan. They got an extra mile 6. So I got a little bit more distance than them. We'll see if they can get it. The deal is, I need to take a picture of this. The deal is that you want to come in where your second bounce is over on this side. So when you bleed out, you're trying to bleed out on this area over here where there isn't any moguls. If you get onto the green, I've actually gotten onto the green right there where you're right off and you're still dealing with the moguls, and it's problematic. That works. That dog will hunt. That works. Nice shot. They still have a little bit. You can see how much movement there is around the green. Those moguls are wicked. And with the power 4 ball, your window's over there. So if there's headwind, you'd have to do and give myself 2 rings separation. 3 miles an hour, I'm going to do a 3-3. So I'm going to do a little over 2 rings. I'm going to put some curl on it to bring it back towards the green. The flagpole, I should say. And let's see if I got my top spin right. There's bounce 1. Oh, I'm too far. Actually hit the green. I've been in this spot right here a bunch of times. I was trying, when you're looking out there at my second bounce, trying to think of the arc if you put curl on it, like where that second bounce will end up on the right if you put curl on it, and trying to get it so that the second bounce is still clipping. And I'll have to go back and watch that video and see like where my first bounce was compared to where I set it up, because 10% might not have been enough. Still got an opportunity here. A great opportunity. Okay, a perfect and anything to the left should go in the hole. Oh, and that was 75,000 rings great to the right. Two rings great to the right. Arr! All right, I got a plan on that hole though. I feel good about it as the week goes on. That's not necessarily a hole that you need to pick up every time. That's a hole you need to pick up every time in the weekend round. That's definitely a hole that will get you up, and we have a great opportunity there. Hole number 5. Hole number 5. What do we have in store for us here? Okay, I'm taking the shot from this area, and I'm just going to set it up. I have no idea what the deal is. I think I need to bring out a bigger ball. I think I need to bring out like a kingmaker. And I'm going to bring a sniper. Sniper. Let's play it. If we can find an opponent. Now, I have made a few hole-in-ones on this hole, but I don't think of it as a hole-in-one hole. I mean, it's not, I think that if you're going at this hole from the left-hand side, going over the sand, that you can set that shot up over there and you have a much better chance of getting a hole-in-one from that side. But that side is fraught, especially on the right-hand side, and if you make a bad wind adjustment, that side over there can be extremely dangerous. And while where I'm starting out, I think my odds of getting a hole-in-one are lower. My odds of getting anything less than a birdie are pretty well nil, because if you roll off the back, if you roll past the cup, you can roll down there by the fringe. And you better hope you make it to the fringe, because it's a super bad putt from down there. And the way the course goes is that it's going downhill, but right when it gets to the fringe, it kind of bowls up. And so you're more apt to end up stuck on the green. Let's do the wind first. I am going to do an adjustment here. I was working on it the last time we played this hole, and I know I upped my normal adjustment. 4 point. I'm going to do a 20%. You clear rings off. .32 rings. There's 3, 4. I'll have to snap it. Hit a 1 ring great to the right. Just a bit inside. Just a bit. I didn't like the fact that the wind was so high. And I'm not upset that I ended up on the left-hand side of the cup and not the right, so I'll have to hit a perfect to see like where that comes in at. This is a hole that I'll definitely be working on. And every time we play this hole, I'm always working on this hole. Because the deal is I'm not willing to take the shot on the left. This type of course, especially when we've got one par 4 we have to pick up, we just cannot afford to lose any shots on these par 3s. I want to give myself a look, but that hole, that's how I'm playing it. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. All right. I'm trying to get, and let's see which way the wind's blowing, because I don't think you can do it. I think you can do it with a 3 power ball if the wind's blowing like this, but if it's blowing different, we're going to have to rethink our deal. And I think down on the end, I'm going to have a red line issue with my Kingfisher, where my red line's right where I need to be. And if your long iron, you want to make sure if you're trying this shot up here that your long iron is a long iron that's got some backspin. So if you do end up in a red line issue where you overhit it, or you've got that red line right there where you need it to be, you can't get to it with your short iron because of the top spin. So you have to get on the other side with your long iron. So that means you need backspin. Grim Reaper, Saturn, something like that in your bag, especially if you have lower developed clubs. And this may be a hole, if you use a Kingfisher, if you've got lower developed clubs, that you might want to pull out your runner, because you can get to it with your runner and it's still a pretty decent club for that shot. So I'm not sure if my Hornet or if my Kingfisher can get it done. I know it has more distance than it did when it started, but it's still pretty, and it doesn't have a lot of topspin, but it's got a little bit more than it does when it's low level. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to try a Titan. Let's see if we can get over there with a Titan. I'd rather not have to bring out a bigger power ball if I can help it, but I may have to if it's a headwind, and I may not be able to get it done with a 3 power ball. Just gonna go play it. This hole right here, there's a bunch of different ways that you can play it. You can play the shot that I'm playing. There are several different spots that you can put in for wood, and you can hit to the other side on the left and go down and try and get into your long iron range. Let's see if I can get over to the other side. I'm going to take a little bit of wind out. Most of that wind. And I'm going to end up in the sand. Yup, I could have hit it one ring great to the right, probably two rings great to the left, and perfect, and it would have been fine. But two rings great to the right or three rings great to the left, and you're in trouble. But the three rings great to the left, I would have ended up way... What would have happened was the second bounce fairway, the farther you hit it to the left, the farther forward you have to hit it in order to clear, and I would have clipped the rough and been right about where my opponent came through. Nice. They're still going to have a great shot from there. All right. Where am I at in my club? There's max. So I'm pretty close to max. There's two. All right, need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit outside, didn't pull it enough. Pretty close. Now my opponent has, with Nirvana, they may be able to do the same thing, but they'll have a pretty good shot from there. And they're in the, they got to be every bit of the 8 per ring. So it's like a quarter of a ring, and they moved it a whole ring. We'll see what they're... Hit it perfect. Come on. Perfect. And they overpulled it. I would have moved it maybe a quarter of a ring and a little. Maybe a third of a ring. In the hole. All right. Did not put myself in a position to get the best Albie look, but still had a look. Haven't picked up anything special. Let's see if my opponent can get in the hole. Perfect. Yeah. Good luck in the tournament. Let's see what we got for hole number 7. Hole number 7. We're in the final set. Oh. Let's fire that back up again. Hole number 7. The duck hole. Oh, man. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Wind's helping us. Wind's actually, that particular angle of wind is really helping us. So the wind's blowing in this direction. So this is our target zone, this fairway right here. And we want to try and get, I want to try and get where I'm out here where I've got the fairways as wide as possible. So from the tee box, see if we can scroll it back far enough. From the tee box to this spot, we're on this angle, so this is in play, so we've got to use curl to cover this gap. And you can get this done with an extra mile, and an extra mile works. An apocalypse will help you get up into this, but an extra mile will help because it's got better ball guide. And once you can figure out the topspin, you could switch to your Apocalypse. I'm going to bring a power 5 ball because I just think that like this hole is going to take a power 5 ball. I think if we've got positive wind, it'll help us a lot. But if we've got, I'm going to bring an extra mile to start off with, and we'll switch if I need to. This is definitely a hole if we can get this drive right in that landing zone. It's super easy to end up on the bottom, on the water side. You'd think with the side spin that you put on it that you'd be fine, but you still have to put some curl on it to bring it around. If I can get an opponent. If. The big IF. Come on. Come on. All right. Was it DC? DC goes first. Now you can see where they're at with the red line. If they left the wind in, it would push them into the spot that I'm trying to get into. Tighten might be a little better. Maybe. I would put all of the overpower on it. Thanks for... So my opponent got the perfect shot. That dog will hunt. That dog will hunt. Right there, folks. Watch what my opponent did. Okay, the wind's going to push me this direction, 3.8, so somewhere out in there. So 3.8 is almost 2 rings. I'm going to put the forward distance back on. That grate to the left is going to kill me. I have too much speed. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. Whoa down. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. I put that forward distance on there. I should have took off like one top spin. Hitting it perfect. This is a key hole to get an eagle on. All of the par 4s have opportunities to get eagles. The mid one and this one being tougher than the first one, but we got great opportunities here to pick up a shot. Still got some work to get done though. I'm just at that distance that I'm not sure if wind's going to be a factor. Getting it perfect. We'll see if wind was a factor. In the hole. Woo! All right. Getting the eagle. We need that eagle on these par 4s. That mid par 4, missing that eagle on that, overshooting it was So minimum score is 11. So we got a lot of people. We still got the bottom half of the bracket that, or excuse me, 12. So it's going to take every bit of a 12. And with the first hole 13, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if 13s and 14s are what it takes to actually get in. Hole number 8. Hole number 8. All right, this par 3 right here, we have another serious opportunity. There is a great rough bump here, and I'm 100% sure we were doing a wind adjustment, but I can't remember what it was. And let's see which way the wind's blowing. And we got in headwind. I'm going to play this by ear when I get out there. We'll see how bad the wind is. I could do the bounce over. I'm not a super fan of the bounce over, but we could do the bounce over. All right, here we go. I do believe it was a 10% wind adjustment that we were doing, or that's at least a good place to start. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. It's starting to get cold here in the U.S. We went from winter. We had about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks of spring. We went from winter to summer, and we were like deep in summer, like right off the bat. And then we had like maybe a week or so of what you would think of as fall weather, and then bam, we're in the beginnings of winter. We used to have 4 very distinct seasons, and now it's not feeling like that. See if my opponent can get it dialed in. I never can understand why people don't move it down a little bit more so they can actually see their ball guide. They set it up where they can't see it. Sniper. Let's see how many rings they pull. That was like 3.5, 3.7. Hitting that one ring great to the left. In and up a little to the left. All right, I'm going to try the rough bump. 3, 3, 3. I'm going to move it 3.3 rings. Okay, there's 3. 3, 3. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I catch it. Good. I like the spot. Just a bit off the cup. Over pulled it just slightly. Probably could have just did a straight up adjustment. Nice. I like the fact that we were going against a headwind right there. That's I usually find that the headwinds will be a little stronger than tailwind. So like if you can get the adjustment worked out for the headwind, we may have to chase it a little bit if we're doing a tailwind. If we're doing a tailwind, maybe we have to do the 10%, and maybe on a headwind we don't. That's the shot I'm going to work on all week. I think that's the best way to go for hole-in-one on that hole. It's not that you can't get a hole-in-one in any other way, but I think that's the best way overall. Hole number 9. All right. This is another one. This is like the other par 5 where I've had some success here in one-on-one where and then one-on-one I always play over to this area, and you've got this shitty shot coming into the cup. Now you can get way out here to the end, but it is a little bit problematic. It's a pretty tough drive, but this drive over here, if you're short and you've got a sniper coming in, or you can hit long and you can go for the rough bump, you've got some options here. If you can get way up front, you can get in long iron range here. It really just depends on what kind of ball you want to bring out getting over to this side. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Getting side wind. I'm going to bring a Kingmaker. And I'm going to bring a sniper just so that I can take a look at it with a sniper. Let's bring a Kingmaker. I'm going to bring a Titan. Just because I have more of them. I have a few. Here we go. Should be made there my extra mile. I could bring in Apocalypse, get a little bit more rod distance. I actually was working on a shot here on this whole, trying to do a max overpower hook shot, and it seems like the last tournament that this was in, or the tournament before that, I was trying to work on a max overpower hook shot over to this side, and didn't get a chance to really work it out. And I'm going to go pretty close to that tip. 3-6. That's 4-2, so I'm going to just do a 2-ring pull. I'm going to put some curl on to bring it back to the fairway. Hitting a 1-ring grate to the left. Just float it out there. Now that will give me, I may be able to catch the rough bump, but I needed to hit it a little bit farther forward, I think, in order to hit the really good T rough bump. But I might be able to get to it from there, but I can bring it around on the right hand side. We'll have to see what it looks like. I think I need to hit it a little bit farther forward if I run the better look at the rough bump. And I'm not sure with a power 3 ball and a sniper if you can get there, or whether you need to bring a Guardian. It seems to me that you need to bring a Guardian. Isn't it perfect? El Perfecto. My opponent, I think they're a little bit farther away, but they're more, you can see where it's lined up there. They're getting more into that T rough bump range. There's max club. There's min. So I'm at mid club, which is 1.1 per ring. .9 equals divided by 1.1. I'll move it 3.2 rings. There's 3.25. Hitting it perfect. Woo! In the hole. So I took off 10% of the wind. I only did 0.9 times the wind. So 0.9 times the wind gave me 3.51, and I was at mid club, which is 1.1 per ring. So that made it 3.19, 3.2. I moved it 3.25, so I overpulled it just a titch. You can see my opponent's got they're in a flatter part of they've got that perfect little T going on. The thing about that is that if you hit it great to the left or the right and you make a good wind adjustment, you're still hitting the rough. Where I was at, I was more on the edge, where if you hit it to the right, you could miss the rough. All right, that's how you get an Albie on hole number 9. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Albatross. That'll be a good tiebreaker too. All right, minus 15 with an Albie. So 3 people at minus 15 up at the top. So we've got minus 12. Minus 12 just is our normal. Plus we've got to get hole number 1. So that puts us at minus 13. And then we've got two other par fours we've got great shots. We do have shots on all of these par fives. One of the par threes I don't really think of as being a great hole-in-one hole, but we do have opportunities on pretty much every other hole. All right, that's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Good luck in the tournament.